ever felt so low about yourself and felt that you're worthless, you don't amount to anything, have looked around, you're not satisfied with anything, you don't like the way people treat you, you can't figure out why you're always taken advantage of? Why does people read on your forehead that I'm a doormat, come and walk all over me? Right? And then bang, in the middle of nowhere, you suddenly are woken up to spirit. You go through a spiritual awakening process or even a kundalini awakening with some form of spiritual practice. What happens? What are you going to do when that very power of awakening is going to amplify all of that inside of you that makes you feel hurt, anger, pain in the pit of your stomach? You feel, I am nothing, I amount to nothing, I am useless, I have no value, I don't know, my boss doesn't treat me well, I'm never satisfied in my job, I know I'm working really hard, but I don't get the paycheck that I deserve. People treat me like I am a pile of goo, right? And before you know it, you get married and your husband or your wife have zero respect for you. And before you know it, as a parent, your children, right? They do exactly the same. You go through a spiritual awakening in any one of these roles. You go through a spiritual awakening and your life is turned upside down. Suddenly, all of these things that acted as limitations, that acted as hindrances, are brought right up. They are right up. So your pain body is now at surface level. So whereas before, if something hit you and the depth of it was my low self-worth, my low self-esteem, self-confidence, right? And to the point where sometimes it might come up as a superiority complex because you're louder than loud, or sometimes you're so low nobody can hear you. Sometimes you resort to all sorts of other ways of getting somebody's attention, and at the root of it all is that very fragile, very limited self-esteem. So with the spiritual awakening, that sense of self, the individuate sense of self, will be challenged, because the first thing is during the process that everything we are as the human, the body, everything, right? It goes through a revamping. So one of the things that go through a revamping is, what is the sense of self? And this post is specifically in relation to those of you who have gone through or are undergoing a spiritual awakening. You're still not fully integrated, or you feel that you are, but life on the outside isn't quite the way that you want it to be, right? Now, how does low self-esteem impact us when we are already in a spiritual awakening process? When we are having experiences and we've got the signs, we're getting messages, or if you're a channel and you're receiving all this beautiful wisdom, you will be too shy to share it. Either too shy or you won't trust it, right? And more likely than not, the circle that you've always had, friends and family, will reflect that back to you, that low self-esteem. And they will probably say to you, why you? Why are you going through a spiritual awakening? Or why would you get these messages from these beautiful ascended masters or celestial beings? Or why you? What is it about you? What's so special about you? It's you, right? Now, if you're undergoing the process and you are, let's say for now, a victim of low self-esteem, What do you do at that point when you're still healing it, or you're still unaware that the root of it is low self-esteem, right? You're probably going to say, yeah, I don't know why me. I guess it must have happened in another lifetime. Or, I don't know why me. Even I don't know why me, right? And as you graduate in the spiritual awakening process, one, you're able to identify it. Two, you're able to deal with it, right? Three, you're able to replace it, which I'll come to in a minute. When you are in that, your response will be different to whoever is saying to you. And your response will be, why not me? Why not me? Right? And when you get invited to do a podcast or to run a show somewhere with maybe celebrities, maybe someone up there, or maybe a really somebody, and then your family and friends might say to you, why you? Or you might, like myself, are running this YouTube channel or have various things that you do, and they might say, what, really, you? Right? And these are the kind of things that we invite. The second thing, and I'll come back to why we invite because whatever is on the outside of us is reflected back to us inside. The other way it'll come to us is you'll be doing something and there'll be lots of triggers whilst you're still healing that self-esteem. There'll be lots of things, like you may have friends and family that think that they're offering constructive criticism, but you might take it quite personally, and it might make you even more shy and get yourself into an even bigger cave, an even bigger cocoon, and a bigger shell, because you think, you know what, you see, I am just not good enough. You see, they're right, right? And again, as you are going through the process, you respond to all of these things, everything on the outside of you that's trying to tease out that victim of low self-esteem will gradually no longer have the power. And instead, everything that's being reflected to you, you will be more tuned into now that which is empowering. So everybody who's going to embrace you as you are, hold the space for you to come into this beautiful being and to blossom into this beautiful person, right? That's your fan club. Those are the people that you're going to be inviting into your life. There might be new people, or you might have one or two people who are still there, and they might say to you, why not you? I'm so proud of you, right? Now, our self-esteem develops when we first understand who we are in the eyes of our caregivers, our very initial experience, right? Because as an infant, you want to know, hey, how am I doing? Hey, mom, hey, dad, look at what I just did. Now, if mom and dad are not there, or they think, oh, is that all you could do? You only came back with a grade C. Couldn't you get an A, right? Or they might make something that doesn't meet your expectations as a parent. And there you go again. Again, the teachers at school, again, the grading system, right? So we are taught right from the word go, who are you in relation to the others? We are taught to measure ourselves in relation to others. But you'll find those of us that came from a setting that either did not conform or did conform, but your caregivers always made a point to up you, right? To be proud of you. You're more likely to have a lot of self-esteem and be very proud of yourself. Stay tuned in for part 2. Be right back.